Namaste, I am Aditya Raja. I am an applied psychologist. The topic of today's talk is the power of a good initiative. The only thing people regret is that they don't live boldly enough, that they don't invest enough heart, and they don't love enough, as said by Ted Hughes. But the question is, why people don't invest enough heart? Why people don't live boldly enough? And the answer to that question lies in my story, and it goes as such. Since I was a child, the society conditioned me to believe that I have to wait. When I grew up as an adult, the Indian society conditioned me to watch others. So that is what we were taught: wait and watch. You might be wondering if this is a common phenomenon. Let me tell you, it is. You might be facing it as well, isn't it? This is why people don't live boldly enough, because they have been told that you wait, don't start anything, wait for the right moment, wait for the perfect people to arrive in your life. Now we wait and wait because that is what we are taught to do, and then the stereotypes comes into picture. But what has that wait taken us to? It always makes us follow others' advice. Get more marks than the neighbor's son, be an engineer or a doctor, settle for a government job. All the youth, they might be facing it, and this words might be ringing in their head. But why is it so important that we have to wait? When we are taking an initiative, do we really need to wait? That is the question that I am asking today. Here are a few quick facts which might interest you. First is, as per Entrepreneurship Development Institute India, only 5% of the total population go on to build their own business. 50% of the Indian population are youth, and the country is very young, which is what we can see from the staggering facts. But the question is, why are these young people not having enough initiative? So there seems to be a paucity of good initiatives, and the reasons lie in the kind of learning we have from the society and the informal rules that are governing our game. Now we see India is coming to such a juncture where we have mushrooming of startups, we have mushrooming of change makers, but we have to scale that phenomenon, because 5% is not enough. We have to make sure that that percentage is increasing. So which sectors are coming up? We have 3D printing, artificial intelligence, machine learning, energy, solar, and so many other fields where we have seen frugal innovation which Indian entrepreneurs are doing. But what lies at the center of such an initiative? The answer is the power of small. One of my friends, he asked himself a very small question: what can I do to recycle my own used glass? So he used to be seeing pile of garbage in front of his house. There was a mountain of glass which was found just outside his house. So he started Googling, is there a way out? He started asking his friends, he contacted his family, but answers were very few. So what he did was he started an initiative called Glastic, and the idea was to recycle glasses. And how did it start? From that one small question: what can I do to recycle my own used glass? And let me tell you, it started small, but right now they have successfully recycled 30,000 tons of molten glasses. Renowned brands have partnered with them as they believe in their vision for the environment and for the society. Not only that, they have also generated employment, and 100 plus artisans are now working under their fold. And all of this happened because they started something, they took the initiative and they worked on it. Isn't that fascinating enough? Because that is how a small seed of transformation can become a tree in the longer run. This is the power of a good initiative. I come from a small town, Dumka, in Jharkhand, where we find marginalized people have struggled in accessing clean water, proper healthcare, and quality education. When I asked Dr. Louise Marandi how she utilized the power of initiative to drive social change, she said that it all starts with a small positive intent. That intent to make an impact in the lives of people. And she started saying that how she started a project where she fetched clean water to quench the thirst of marginalized people in Dumka. She initiated a project to train the doctors so that proper healthcare can be provided to marginalized people in Dumka. Now, coming to the question, is an intent enough? No, not. It is not enough. We need to ensure that we are working out the plan, because plan, when worked out properly, drives success, drives growth. Now, Archery Academy was established to provide the archers quality education in sports. Sports lights were planted in 18 ground Dumka, and all this happened because she had an intent and she worked out on that intent. So this is what an initiative looks like. Have the intent, work on the intent. So in short, all this development happened because there was an intent to act and not wait for someone to make things happen. We had Model College, Eklavya Vidyalaya and Kendriya Vidyalaya, which Dr. Lewis worked upon. So doing such an initiative where you have multiple things happening at the same time, I want to ask, is that not a common phenomenon? If you have an intent and you are working out the plan, is that not feasible? I think you know the answer. Yes, it is. Now, my question is, if we are told to wait, shouldn't we be moving ahead of the wait? Because if we are just stopping and not doing anything, how will that initiative fructify? So that's my question to you. Now, next, let us see how electricity can play a pivotal role in the lives of people and what initiative is taken in the field of electricity. For example, this is what you see when you have 0 watt of electricity. This is when you have few watts of electricity. This is how Mrida is transforming the lives of many villagers with the help of just a few watts. So the difference that we are making in the lives of people, it is happening because of something very small, and that is just a few watts. When I talked to Mr. Arun Nagpal, he told me a simple thing. If you want to become a transformer, think small. Think small, scale large. That is how things will happen. Now, we have 1 billion people globally who lack access to basic energy. We have people in India who don't see electricity at all. So a few watts is not just a few watts. It is a gargantuan amount of electricity for people who do not have electricity. Now, we can move ahead from a room full of darkness to a room full of light. And here are the transformers who think that small, once acted upon, can be made big. Aren't actions speaking louder than words? And that is what you have seen. I think you might comprehend that they do. So, when you see initiative, you see at the heart of initiative we have frugal innovation, creativity, and the desire to execute the plan. Now when we move ahead, we see there are 1,500 accidents that happen every day in India. But out of that, do you know 600 people die? And this has been challenged. This has been thought of transforming by making sure that there is a QR code which can be scanned by MyResQR. And this initiative by Mr. Akash from Agra, it is driving people safe. It is making people stay connected to their friends and family post the accident. MyResQR enables first responders to access the basic information about the victim, and within 15 seconds they can reach out to their family, friends, and the network hospital. So just in 15 seconds we will be able to recognize the victim and call the ambulance which can save their life. So this is what just 15 seconds can do for your life. It can save your life. And how are we driving that change, that initiative? How are we driving it? We are driving it with a very small QR code, as you can see here. Now, you might be thinking, if everything is so small, then why don't we start? We don't start because we don't ask the right questions. We have to ask the right questions, what we are doing, why we are doing, and how will we be implementing. Basic observations, once modeled, becomes a workable solution. And that is what I want you to take away with my talk. Work on the small minutes and work out the plan. Now coming to the next part. Recognize a good initiative. When you see through the operational constructs of the initiative, it is well thought, well planned, and well oriented. Ideally, the ideas are great, but once we start working on the ideas become clear. Now when we see the impact, it is more robust and it is oriented towards a change. Now, when we say that people come together, that can only happen when people and processes intertwine. They work closely hand in hand. Now, why do these initiatives fructify? They fructify because at the heart of all these initiatives, there's a desire to do a transformation. With My Rescuer, we saw it was about saving lives. With Mrida, we saw it was making impact in people's life. With the other initiative which I mentioned, there was a desire to provide basic health care, quality education to the marginalized people of Dumka. Now, where do these initiatives come from? These good initiatives come when an observed pain point, an observed challenge is turned into a workable solution. A solution that will motivate people to initiate desirable behavior, which is well sustained. As per the American Psychological Association, having cognitive control is important to initiate change, to initiate the projects which will make a social impact. And we know it is about organizing, planning and scheduling the mental operations in the day-to-day lives. Now we see such cognitive control is required when it comes to the performance of social behavior in humans. Actions that is influenced directly or indirectly by the actual, imagined, expected or inspired presence of others. Now people are inspired, people are motivated to act, but that only happens when somebody is taking charge and driving the process. Somebody who is integrating the process and people together. Somebody who is having a vision and working out that vision in the day-to-day activities. So this is how the initiative is well sustained. Now coming to the point, should we wait? The idea is no, you should not wait, you should act. You should observe things, question things, and then ensure that the pain point that you are having should be modeled into a use case. So that is what initiative takes you from 0 to 1. And those preparation which has to be done in that line from the movement of 0 to 1, it has to happen with your discretion, with your judgment, with your plan. And that is how you will be able to initialize the power of initiative. Now, when I say power of initiative, what do I necessarily mean when the power is concerned? So the answer is very simple. I mean to say the power of initiative lies in the philosophy of the small. The power of initiative lies in the vision of the common people like Dr. Lewis, Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa and other people who had a small vision and then they acted upon that vision. Have empathy in the process. This will help you to connect to the problems, to the people, and then work out the solution. Motivation and inspiration are secondary. First thing is that your desire should be there, and that desire has to be worked out. Now, whenever my grandmother used to ask me, Aditya, what are you doing for making social change happen? I used to say, I want to be the change that I want to see in the world, as according to the Gandhian philosophy. So now the thing is, I don't wait for things to happen. I don't wait for somebody else to take action. I don't think a lot when I am trying to solve a problem. I do it. I saw change makers, startups and small innovators who are doing miraculous works. So all these people who are coming out with flying colors, they have been able to do it because they have turned their observation and journey into a vision statement which is worked upon in the day-to-day lives. So that is how initiative has the power to bring out social innovation, social change, social transformation and a positive impact in the entire world. Thank you. Namaste.